We find in this week's Parshat transition. We've been so far talking about the Avot, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. And we're introduced to a focus of the Shiftei Israel, the different special names of Leah, giving to her children. Some interesting names. Names that tell us a little bit maybe about the relationship between Leah and her husband. But one name which I think very much encapsulates the time that we're in now. For those in North America, now it's Thanksgiving. For us, the family of Yeshivat Hakotel, about to give a shir of Vayeitzei, to be able to embark on the Heshiv Leil Avot al Banim V'Leil Banim al Avotam, learning together the sources of Vayeitzei. Leah names her fourth child Yehuda. And the Torah says, HaPaam odeh et Hashem. Now, this time, I'll give thanks to Hashem. Vata'amor miledet, says the Pasuk. And that's why on a Parshat level, the Ibn Ezra says, why now do you give thanks? Because she says, that's it, I'm done. I've had my children, this is my fourth. Vata'amor miledet, now I can give thanks. Which in and of itself is interesting. Her decision to stop having children, and only now to give thanks. But I want to focus much more on Shita of Rashi, and what Rav Kook says deeper into what Rashi means. Rashi quotes the well-known Chazal, that why now does she give thanks? Because now she realizes through the four mothers of Bilhah, Zilpah, Rachel, and Leah, 4 times 3, the Shiftei Kal are supposed to be 12, now she gets 4. Higher mathematics, she has Yoter Michalki, now I have more than my lot. I realize that I have more. I heard many years ago from Rabbi Friend, which seemed to be a beautiful, simple idea of a Musar Vort, the idea that the Chidush of Leah is that a person can actually say, I didn't deserve it, and I got more than I deserved. We train ourselves to say, I deserve it. That was one level of a very important message of being able to really appreciate what you have, and to recognize that higher level of giving from people. Rav Kook in his Sefer Ein Hayah, here on Daf Zayin on the Gemara, that says, Miyom shebara HaKadosh Baruch Hu et olamo, lo haya adam shehodeh HaKadosh Baruch Hu ad sheba Leah v'hodato. From the time that, from the day that the Ribbon Shalom created the world, man had not given hoda'ah to Hashem until Leah does it. HaPaam odeh et Hashem. Rav Kook explains what is the difference between bracha and hoda'ah. Bracha is any type of good or bad that comes to you. It doesn't necessarily have to be mechuvan, doesn't have to be directed to you. And you say, that's a bracha, I'm able to see whether it's good or bad, not intentionally directed, there's a bracha. The chidush of a hoda'ah, says Rav Kook, is dafka on the tova haba miratzon chofshi she'efshar lehitiv lachdo. The thanks comes when you have that ability to realize that the person who is giving you, is blessing you with the bounty of goodness, had the option of not giving you that and still decided to give it to you. 2 examples to explain what I believe Rav Kook explains. I said, keep it Vayeitzei, honoring parents. So you might say, they don't have to do it. Or the other way, they have to do it. If parents are not good parents, then they're social services. They'll come and take away the children. So there's a chiyuv. So a child could say, especially in adolescence, when they're developing to themselves, I don't have to give thanks. There's no thanks there. They have to do it. There's a chiyuv. They must do it. The level of hoda'ah that comes is when you realize and you get that maturity of a parent or of a child towards a parent, that you realize that the parent might have certain basic things that are chiyuv, that are basic necessities, and parental instincts and responsibilities. But to know and to understand the omik of hoda'ah, the depth of thanks, is that they go above and beyond so many things that we don't know that your parents do for you. That's the hoda'ah that comes And obviously that applies to Avodat Hashem in general. Just in contrast, before I return that, Tefillah, says Rav Kook here in this piece, that many times it's a chiyuv. Why many times the Gemara talks about a brachot that it becomes a burden. Why does it become a burden? Not only the psychological reasons of a burden, but we say, because it's not something that you realize that God gives you an opportunity to daven, to speak, to be able to have that dialogue together, and it's not a monologue. If you go and understand that, and that it's not a chiyuv, that it's a real opportunity to talk with the Ribono Shalom, Baruch Atah, then all of a sudden you see it in a different light. The same idea comes in general service of God, where if we go and understand that the Yesod is Hoda'ah, says the Ramban, says later, Balei Musar and Orchot Tzadikim, etc. Our fundamental worship of the Ribono Shalom comes because of Hoda'ah. To be able to say that God could, He's not forced to, give us all this good. Especially in tough times, especially in dark times, to be able to see how much good God keeps giving us. That is the Hoda'ah. Bezrat Hashem, I always like to conclude with what my brother always likes to quote the Avudraham, that the necessity for Modim Derabanan and Tefillah. Why do we have during the Chazar Tashat Modim Derabanan? Because it ain't Shliach for Hoda'ah. You have to say it yourself, you have to work it on yourself, to dig deep, to see the good, that Ayin Tovah, not that narrow eye, but the Ayin Tovah, seeing the Hoda'ah, seeing the good, seeing what they go above and beyond. With that, Bezrat Hashem, I hope people had a happy Thanksgiving. And Bezrat Hashem, people will go and understand the most difficult mitzvah of Kibbut Avayim is because of this. Bezrat Hashem, we'll have a Shabbat, one full of Hoda'ah to the Ribono Shalom also. Shabbat Shalom.